Are you struggling to disable CSRF protection in your Spring Boot application while using OAuth2 SSO with Okta? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into this common issue and showing you how to tackle it. I totally get how frustrating it can be when your application works perfectly for one endpoint but throws a curveball for another. If you've ever faced issues with CSRF tokens in your Spring Boot app, you're in the right place. Here's the situation. A user reached out saying their Spring Boot service authenticates users with Okta using OAuth2. But while the GET method works fine, the POST method requires a CSRF token. They want to disable CSRF checks entirely. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So, what's happening here? When you disable CSRF protection, your application might not redirect to Okta for authentication anymore. This can happen due to the way Spring Security handles security configurations. Let's break it down. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a crucial tip that will help you maintain your OAuth2 SSO setup without running into CSRF issues. To disable CSRF protection while maintaining OAuth2 SSO authentication, the user should first ensure that the configuration class is set up correctly. This involves extending the Web Security Configure adapter and overriding the configure method. Next, the user should check the order of the security filters. It's important that the CSRF disabling configuration is applied before the OAuth2 SSO filter. This can be done by ensuring the configuration class is annotated properly. Additionally, the user should verify that the application is correctly handling the OAuth2 authentication flow. This means checking the application properties for the correct client ID and secret provided by Okta. Finally, the user should test the application to ensure that it redirects unauthenticated requests to Okta as expected. This can be done by accessing the application in a browser and checking the authentication flow. Fun fact, CSRF stands for Cross-Site Request Forgery, and it's a common security vulnerability. But don't worry, with the right configuration, you can manage it effectively. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution suggests modifying the HT security configuration. The user recommends adding specific builder clauses to ensure OAuth authentication is enforced. This includes using authorized requests to require authentication for any request and enabling OAuth2 login, while still disabling CSRF. The user also notes that after making these changes, the token was correctly included in the requests, resolving the issue with authentication. Let's move forward and look at another answer. One alternative solution is to disable the CSRF token specifically for your app endpoint. You can achieve this by modifying your security configuration to only disable CSRF for the /app path. That's it for that response. Let's explore another one. An alternative approach shared by another user involves not disabling CSRF protection entirely. Instead, they suggest adding the CSRF token to each post request. They provide a method to retrieve the CSRF token using ThemeLeaf in your HTML file. They recommend including this token in your AJAX requests by setting it as a header. This method worked for them, allowing successful authentication while maintaining CSRF protection. Here's that crucial tip I promised. Always test your security configurations in a development environment before deploying to production. This can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. You should now have a clearer path to disabling CSRF while using OAuth2 SSO with Okta. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.